Hello, everybody, and welcome back to more Maui Adventures. Today, we're going to Haleakala National Park. Is that right? Hold on. I have the technology to check this out. Here it is. Let's take a listen.
Haleakala.
I was wrong. Haleakala. Glad we checked. Today, I went to Haleakala National Park again. Waimoku Falls was also there. This was a different part of the park. This was actually the summit. If you watch my last video, you know I came back in the pouring rain in the dark, and it turns out all that pouring rain turned my parking lot into a mud pit, which I believe I've mentioned in some previous videos, and now you're going to see that. It actually wasn't too bad walking around the condo complex. There was a few patches of mud. I slipped once, caught myself. It could have been a lot worse than it was. Anyway, let's get right into it.
Open to U.S. residents.
Yes, here we are. Turn some sound on for me. So yeah, you can see the parking lot here. First thought, I really wish I was driving the Jeep next to me instead of the Nissan Kicks, but I'll tell you what. The Nissan Kicks did a pretty good job. For one reason and one reason only. Underneath all that mud is pavement. If this was a, actual mud field, there's no way. I think we'd all be stuck. You can see this. Yeah, this was a total shock. I came back from Waimoku. Jeez, I really need to get that straight. And, it was a night, and I tried getting back to my condo here.
It's like driving through the snow,
And,
baby.
the roads were closed. Yeah, did you hear me? I said it was like driving through the snow. It is. This was a lot like driving through the snow. It's Hawaii's snow. I'm convinced that mud is Hawaii's snow. But yeah, the road, so I tried two different ways to get to my condo. Both those roads were closed. I tried one more way. I'm like, if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to park on the street somewhere and just walk. But that way was open. And, lucky me, I guess. So I walked out to the car.
Just like driving through the snow.
Just like driving through the snow, yeah. You can see the mud, so my plan to circumvent this, your welcome hurts, was to get a garbage bag from my condo, walk out there in my hikey muddy shoes.
I'm home free.
Sit down in the car, carefully take the shoes off, and put them in the garbage bag. And this was the main drag in Kihei. I don't know the name of the street. I'd have to look it up. You're going to see a road closure here. So it was closed through the night into the morning. Yeah, it flooded, so you can see the flooding. Unprecedented rain, apparently. But you can also see, well, not in this clip. Those are flooded tennis courts or baseball field or I don't know. Something's under there that kids like to use. Here we go. There's a flooded street. 12 o'clock. This poor red car
Sorry, bubs.
had to reroute. Yep, I'm gonna try this way. My gyps told me to go straight there. Did you hear the doo-doo-doo?
Can the kicks do it?
There we go. The gyps was not satisfied.
I think the kicks can do it.
I narrated this part live, so I'm gonna shut up.
Nissan Kicks, baby. Kicking it through the mud.
Nailed it. think that was all the mud. Yeah, so here we are at the top of the mountain. Oh gosh, I didn't even talk about the trail there in the opening photo. You could see it though. It was only about an hour away. It was uphill the whole way. Yeah, believe it or not, there is snow and ice in Hawaii, and I was right in the middle of this storm. So it was thundering and lightning. Well, I didn't see any lightning, but it was thundering, and you can see the clouds, so this was the, we were in the clouds. So this was the trail I wanted to go on, the Sliding Sands trailhead. It was a 3.9, I think, hike out to where I wanted to go, at least before I turned around. Yeah, here we go. Keone, hold on. Keone He Ahia is my best guess at how you say that. There you go. Trail descends into a former eruption zone where fountaining lava created a relatively recent series of cinder cones. I do not know what a cinder cone is. There you go. You can take a look at that if you want. I think the map is next. Yes. All right. You can see the UR here. So I wanted to walk along that yellow line all the way with the switchbacks and that. All the way to, hold on, I'm zooming in. Sliding Sands Trail. I'm going to go with the English translation. Yes, 3.9 miles, I think it's saying to that first fork in the road, we'll call it. Based on the time and the weather, my plan was to go to that 3.9 mile mark and then turn around, even though you can see there's a whole lot more to go. But actually, let me back up a little bit. So this is a Haleakala. Is that right? Hold on. Haleakala. Oh gosh, Haleakala. I can't remember that for some reason. Haleakala. So this is the Haleakala Visitor Center at the top of the mountain, or at least as high as the visitor centers go. And it was closed because of the weather. So I guess in Hawaii, they're not equipped for, salting the streets and plowing and, I'm joking a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. You could see some of the weather already. It was snowing and icing, and there's a visitor center a little further down the mountain, about 25 minutes, I think. And I went in there just because I wanted to get my bearings, stop. I had been driving for, an hour or whatever. And she told me in there, I told her, it's like, yeah, I'm going to Sliding Sands. And she said, okay. She said, it's open, but the visitor center and restrooms up there are not open. And you're hiking at your own risk, she said. Be careful. It's ice up there. And, this was still far enough down the mountain where there was no hint of any ice or snow. And I said, like, driving, unsafe driving conditions ice, because, I'm in my Nissan Kicks here. And she said, no, that should be fine. We think just, it's icy on the trail. She said, just don't get hurt because no one's coming to save you. I was like, okay. Up the mountain I go. So I jumped in my trusty Nissan Kicks and drove that sucker all the way to the top of the mountain and decided to go on this trail anyway. And it was some very adverse conditions. I did not have the shoes for it. I was still wearing my mud shoes. And I actually did bring some gloves in anticipation of some cold weather hiking, but I left them at the Airbnb, so that was also a bummer. But it was just raining. I had a poncho. I did have a poncho with me, but ponchos, they don't really cover you. But it was like halfway raining, halfway icing, which is like the worst. I just wish it was doing one or the other. But I started going down this trail, and I'm going to advance this slide here because we're going to see it. There it is. Hawaiian word, Sliding Sands Trail. And this was some false action. Well, head fake. About to turn around, I think. Oh, no. I already did that. Just kidding. This is the trek on the trail. And my GoPro got accelerated. There we go. Accelerometer upside down. And got so cold the battery stopped working, so this is a frozen video. If you've watched any of my snow romps, then you know this kind of thing happens when the GoPro gets too cold. I don't think it's the camera, I think it's the batteries. I think the batteries get too cold and they have trouble delivering the current, the amperage that the GoPro needs. And here we go, frozen up again. That's too bad, because this was a long video. I can see it on the screen because it's like a split thing. You know, it doesn't look normal. Doesn't look how it should on the viewing screen on the GoPro, and that's how I know something is wrong. But yeah, you can see the ice and the snow, and you can hear the precipitation. And the thunder. I gotta say, it was pretty cool in the few moments I had on the top of this mountain, walking through the fog, through the ice and the snow, hearing the thunder. That was pretty cool. Yeah, ran into this sign, missing summit. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and scan here. So basically they're saying this is an active volcano. The crater that we're hiking into is not a volcanic crater. What does it say? Yeah, deep basin below is instead an erosion valley where wind, stream runoff, and landslides carried away loose cinders and soil during pauses in volcanic activity. If you skip to the end, it says Haleakala. Oh gosh, I gotta check again. Hold on. One of these days I'm gonna get it right. Haleakala, that's my latest. Let's see.
Haleakala.
Yes! Got it this time. Haleakala. Haleakala will erupt again. From this viewpoint, at least 7 eruptions have occurred on this landscape in the last 1,000 years. That's crazy. It's really not that long, certainly for, by geological standpoints. And I did see the active erupting volcano on the Big Island, which I'm sure I've already mentioned. We're definitely going to get to that, but sounds like Maui's going to erupt again too, so stay tuned for that. But moving on. A little bit more video. Yeah, the GoPro is definitely struggling now. But you can see this volcanic rock just... Look at that volcanic rock. All that power and energy just pushed this stuff up to 9,000 feet. I think I was about 9,000 feet here. Which really isn't like...
Called it off.
Oh! I'd already called it off at this point. Yeah, so... I'll speak to that for a second. So I was going down the trail, I was gung-ho. My feet were cold and wet. Most of my body was cold and wet. My hands were certainly cold and wet. But you know, I'm in Hawaii and I'm drove an hour to get here. But I passed a guy and he was like, dude, a guy and his girlfriend or fiance, whatever. He was like, you see that guy behind us? Those are the last two. Like, we're it. It's like us and him, and he's the last one. Said, if you go out there, you're going to be on your own. And I hemmed and I hawed, and I thought, you know what? This guy's probably right. Based on what he said, based on what the park ranger told me down below. I called it off. I decided to turn around. I don't know if that was the right call or not. But, you know, I didn't want to die on a frozen mountain in Hawaii, so yeah, I sussed out and I turned around and I kind of regret it, but at the same time, I was already freezing. I only got colder. When I turned around on this one, I went on a little short trail up to a viewing point, which, you know, you couldn't see anything because of the clouds, but man, after that, I was ready to go, so I think I made the right call. Yeah, here's another picture. I mean, you can see it is just beautiful, and if you Google pictures of this, without the clouds, you can see forever, and it's fantastic. In fact, this hike was recommended to me by a coworker, based on the visibility and if you're sitting on top of this mountain on a clear day, you can see all the way to the Big Island, is what I was told. But with the clouds, you can't see that. But there was something to be said about being in this fog, in the storm, just like hearing the thunder and the ice on top of the mountain in the cloud. That was just a very cool, unique experience in itself. I don't know if I feel like, I've been in some snowstorms in my life, and I don't feel like a lot of them have thunder attached to it. So it was, this wasn't really a snowstorm, but that part was just kind of cool. I don't know, just being in the cold and the snow and the ice and hearing the thunder. But here's the parking lot back. It's all right. After I turned around, I saw this poor little bird running around the parking lot. I bet those feet are cold. Yeah, what do you know? I'll just say that backhoe in the background it doubled as a bathroom because theirs were closed. So do what you gotta do. So this is supposed to be a very scenic lookout point, and you can see all you see is clouds and wind. Oh, the wind was blowing. Off to the left, just missed it. That was a visitor center that is supposed to be open, but was closed due to the weather. Guess the Hawaiians really don't like their snow. Because this ain't that bad, man. If we got this in, the Midwest, this would be nothing. Schools would not close for this. All right, what does this say? Paka'owo. White Hill Trail. I really got to get a Hawaiian to co-narrate these videos with me. All right. Trail climbs to the top of a volcanic cinder cone. I still don't really know what a cinder cone is. All right, living habitat for silver swords. Okay, yes. So this silver sword is an endangered species, I think. Well, let's just see. Dramatic mini world of wolf spider. Oh shoot, we got wolf spiders in the Midwest. Flightless moths and yellow-faced bees. Well, we certainly weren't seeing any of those in the snowstorm. Although the summit can appear hostile to people, temporary shelters visible on the rocky slopes below the trail testify to long human history. Huh. Well, it would have been cool to see some of these animals. Flightless moths. What does that even mean? Moths with no wings? Are they even moths at that point? Anyway, I definitely saw, I say we, I kind of met up with somebody on the, it wasn't even that. Kind of made friends with husband and wife on the trail here, as short as it was. But, so when I say we, that's what's in my mind. Definitely saw silver swords, and in fact, I touched one at his urging. He was a bad influence, but it's right next to the trail. He's like, "Hey, you want to touch an endangered plant?" I said, "All right, why not?" So I did. Hey, there's one right there. There it is, silver sword in all of its glory. That's probably the one I touched, actually. Although I think I did it on the way down the mountain. Yeah, it felt like, leaves and, pointy leaves. Really not all that impressive, but moving on. No idea what that was, but it looks cool. It's pretty incredible. That thing's just growing at the top of a mountain, 9,000 feet up, in the crevice between two rocks. Remarkable. What's next? This was part of the pathway up to this other fake summit. There's the husband and wife I was telling you about. In fact, I didn't ask them about this, but I overheard them say they came from North Carolina, so pretty close to home for me. Because she was like, oh, I thought we left all this snow and stuff in North Carolina, and here we are. Oh, I just clicked my teeth. Man, I'm trying hard not to click my teeth. It's such a habit, apparently.
Sorry. Yeah, I did. I took some shots. Yeah, 5 minutes ago, you could see about 3 miles that way.
Oh yeah?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to make you feel bad. No, it wasn't a whole lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm here. Might as well take a look, right?
Got a jokester over there. Yeah, exactly. I'm here. Might as well take a look. Yeah, there's definitely no 3 miles out there. Keep wiping off that camera lens. Yeah. All right. That's what a thunder snowstorm at the top of Maui looks like. Pretty cool, actually. Pretty cool. Oh, shoot. That's the end? I thought I had at least one more picture. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I thought I had a picture of the observatory. I guess I don't. So I actually did not go to the tippy top of the mountain. That was a little ways up the street where the observatory is. And yeah, I would have loved to go up there, but I was freezing cold. Pretty sure they weren't even open. I was ready to leave. I really didn't have the clothes for it, kind of. I did have some Under Armour and for legs and upper body, torso, but I really did not have the right boots, the right shoes. I needed some boots. And the poncho is just insufficient, really. But next time, you guys ever do this hike? Yeah, bring some warm clothes. Obviously, this was in January, but it might be a little chilly up there all year round. So, all right, that's enough of that. I think up next, actually, I have a couple of monsoon videos from this night. The night I got back, it just kept on raining. I got a river flowing out of my parking lot, and when you see that, it's going to be no surprise why I turned into a mud pit. But stay tuned for that, and I will see you there.